In India, there are different types of soils. First, we have to study definition of soil, then why there are spatial variation in India, and then what are the different soil regions or pedological regions. We have to study these facts in this chapter, soil regions of India. As we have studied in first paper, World Geography, that in pedology we define that the soil is the function of lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere and biosphere. It means the soil includes the sediments and rocks from the lithosphere and different gases in the pores from atmosphere, and the water in the pores are the holes between the beds, and the humus from the biosphere. The soil includes all the lithospheric, atmospheric, hydrospheric and biospheric ingredients. And as we know that India includes various types of lithospheric, atmospheric, hydrospheric and biospheric conditions. That's why there are different types of soil in India. And here the pedological factors affecting the soils of India are: number one, rock. We have studied already in the rock or geology of India that there are spatial variation in rock system. For example, India includes all the rocks, igneous, sedimentary and metamorphosed from Gondwana land and from Angara land. Thus, there is a spatial variation and variety of rocks. For example, igneous, sedimentary and metamorphosed. The second pedogenic factor is the climate. As we know that India includes the climatic conditions ranging from the equatorial climate to the polar climate. Polar means such type of conditions are found in the Himalayan region, that is taiga and tundra type, while the southern part of India includes different type of lateritic and laterite rocks. Thus, there is spatial variation in rock as well as spatial variation in climate ranging from equator to polar climate, and nearly all the world climatic conditions are found in India. Third point is vegetation. If we study the vegetation of India, it ranges from equatorial evergreen forest to the polar and taiga forest or vegetation types. Thus, there are different types of vegetations which also give spatial feature to the pedogenic or pedological factors. Next is relief. As we have studied in India that there are different types of topographic conditions in India. For example, very high snow-covered peaks in the Himalayan region, then the plateau region of the peninsular area, and then the plain region and the desert conditions. These are also responsible for spatial variation in different types of soil. And then it is slope. We know that there are different topographic features: mountain ranges, peaks, flat top plateau and the rolling plain. That's why there are different types of slope which give birth to different types of soil types, different types of soil. And last is time. As we have studied the chronological order of geology in India, we know that the soil development started from the Gondwana formations, and in tertiary formation the different types of soil, alluvial and mountain type of soil, forest type of soil have been developed in the Himalayan region. Likewise, in the Gangetic or northern plain region, soil is also alluvial type, and in the Thar desert region, soil is arid and semi-arid type. Thus, these are the important factors found in India which have given birth to different types of soil in India. Thus, soil types on the basis of stability. We can divide the Indian soil on the basis of stability. As we know that this plateau region consists of the weathered in situ soil, because after weathering these have been least transported. Contrary to it, over the Himalayas and over the Gangetic Plain and Thar Desert, the soil is transported by different processes. For example, glacial and periglacial process over Himalayas, alluvial process over the Gangetic Plain, and aeolian process in the Thar Desert. Thus, generally, the soil of India is being divided in two parts. Number one, transported soil over Himalayas, northern plains and Thar Desert, and number two, in situ or weathered soil in the entire plateau region. Thus, this is also a criteria for the division of the soils. And there is one more division, that the soil of northern India are the soils of Himalayan region and the soils of the southern India. That will be discussed in the different board. Here one more classification, that is the seventh approximation by USA, that is also given, matching the Indian classification of soil. And here the Indian soil has been classified on the basis of different materials. The soil consists of a number of minerals and chemicals like calcium, potassium, magnesium, sodium, etc. As we get the sample of our blood, and in that sample the amount of calcium, potassium, magnesium and others are given there in medical report, in the same way the soil also consists of these elements, especially minerals and chemicals. Why? Because our body, the blood of body, is made up of this soil ingredients or chemicals. That's why there is the differentiation in these amounts of the soil. And the soil of India mainland is the product of its rock variation, vegetation variation, climatic spatial variation and topography. Thus, the soil is of different types based on the minerals and the rock structure and texture. Let us study these types in India. Number one is forest and hill soil. Its symbol is given here, and its nomenclature in the 7th US approximation is inceptisol, alfisol with alti, nt and mollisol. This set, if you search on the map of India, this is forest and hill soil. This is given here, entire Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand, which is densely forested, has hill and forest soil. This symbol is also here in the northern part of Arunachal Pradesh and Sikkim. As you know that this is forest covered soil, that's why it is of coarse texture and it is rich in humus, as well as this forest soil has acidity, because the plant leaves provide acidity to the soil. This is not so much fertile, but this soil favors the growth of the trees and dense forest like coniferous, mixed and deciduous in the Shivalik Himalayas. And in the place of this forest, somewhere plantation crops are being practiced. For example, in the western Himalayas, different types of fruits and horticulture is practiced, while in the eastern Himalayas, tea gardens are there. Thus, this is very important soil for the hilly regions, and it is also used for the terrace farming and the crops like wheat, potato, pea, etc. Now the second soil is mixed black and red soil. The symbol of which is this means here in the central India plateau region, and its seventh approximation nomenclature is vertisols and alphisol. It is the product of the volcanic eruption. As we know that in Maharashtra, volcano erupted in 3 stages, largely in the Eocene period, and that's why here the lava is spread north, east and southward. And you are seeing that the spreading of lava is through lowlands and especially through the river valleys. And this is the reason that this is the black soil covering the major part of Maharashtra, some part of northwest MP and the northwest Andhra Pradesh and the northern part of this Karnataka. And its characteristic is its color is black and somewhere reddish where it is mixed with the red soil. And here this soil is iron rich. When dry it becomes very much hard, but when during rainy season it gets water, it's become very much soft and flows down. Thus this soil is minerally rich. From humus viewpoint, it lacks humus because there is lack of forest due to its position mostly in the rain shadow region. And this black soil is suitable for the production of wheat and sugarcane and cotton. That's why it is also termed as cotton soil, found largely in Maharashtra and some part of Gujarat. Now the next soil is Tarai soil category. Its symbol is given here and it is also called molly soils. Once this molly soil was asked in the IAS prelim exam that what are the characteristics of molly soil and where is it found in India. So molly soil is the Tarai soil, the symbol of which you are seeing here. This is the Tarai region soil where the soil is of alluvial nature. It is very soft. It mostly consists of clay and silt, and the amount of sand is less. How it is formed? It is transported and depositional. When the rivers from the Himalayas come down, they bring down voluminous amount of the pebbles, cobbles and boulders which deposited are called alluvial fine and cone. Later on, the clay and silt is carried down with the flowing water which is deposited in the low-lying area which is called Tarai soil, and it is very fertile because minerally it is rich. From humus viewpoint it is also rich. That's why here the sugarcane is the major crop and other crops like wheat, potato are also grown, and this is very fertile soil, but uncultivated lands support the growth of dense forest. Next soil is here the red soil, the symbol of which is here red dotted lines, and in the 7th approximation of soil classification it is also termed alphisols with insepti and the antisol. And red soil is mostly spread in the peninsular plateau because this peninsular plateau is of Gondwana structure and formation where there are very old folded mountains. For example, this is Aravalli, and here Vindhyachal, Satpura and Eastern Ghat folded mountains. But most part of it is being covered with the lava, hence black soil has covered this red soil. But where there is no lava, there the rocks are exposed whereon the red soil has developed. For example, here over Aravalli there is no lava, no black soil, but the oldest structure which is largely made up of iron. That's why due to oxidation of iron oxide, here the soil color is of red nature, and its northward extension is found up to Haryana, Kurukshetra, and people think that it is the blood mixed with that soil which has made this color red, but it is not so. It is iron oxide which is found largely over the Aravallis, hence the soil is of reddish nature. The same is also here in the Eastern Ghat mountain region, means Odisha and the Chhattisgarh, where the soil is of red nature. And here, as we have discussed, that it is minerally rich and especially iron rich. Other minerals are also found because this is not transported soil, in situ soil, wherein weathered material is lying at its weathering site, and it is of very coarse nature. Here the humus is less because here and here there is less vegetation, less decomposition of rocks, hence it is biologically not very fertile soil. And somewhere there are patches of red soil where the old formation of the Gondwana land are found, and rocks and the soils are of red color. Next is black soil, and in the seventh approximation it is called vertisols and the inceptisols. And black soil, as we have discussed, is largely found in the Maharashtra region and its surrounding area. And when black and red are mixed, this is called mixed soil along the margin of the black soil. But black soil is found largely in the Maharashtra. The thick layer of black soil is found here, and its characteristic we have discussed that it is iron rich, very hard during dry season, and cracks are developed during the dry season, but it becomes wet during the rainy season, and it is suitable for the sugar cane. Its symbol on the map is this, and it is also termed aridi soil and the NT soil. Aridi means found in the arid region. Thus, this soil is largely found in here Thar desert region, Rajasthan, to the west of Aravalli range, which is purely arid. And in the interior part of India, it is also found in patches, but it is largely found in the Rajasthan deserts. Regarding its origin, it is the weathered soil, the weathering of which is largely of thermal nature weathering in this plateau region. Integral part of this Gondwana land or the peninsular plateau of India, especially to the west of this Aravalli, there is high temperature range. During summer it reaches 45 and 48 degrees Celsius. During winter season it comes to 0 and -5. That's why there is large scale weathering. Its color is reddish and brown nature. It is minerally rich because all the weathered material of this plateau are found here in situ. They have been transported to some extent by the aeolian process, and this desert or arid soil lacks humus because there is growth of only xerophyte, which have very small size and less amount of leaves. Thus there is less decomposition of the leaves and plant debris, and this is the reason that this has minerally rich, but from humus viewpoint it is poor. From humus viewpoint it is poor. If water is available, then this soil is good for the growth of different crops, especially dry spices. But if water is available in this Thar desert, for example along the Indira Canal, it is also good for the growth of wheat crop and other Rabi season food grains. Next is laterite and lateritic soil, the symbol of which is here given, and it is also called alti and axisol. And laterite soil in India is found generally along the West Ghat mountain and in the eastern part, and here also in the eastern part. And why here laterite soil is found? As we have studied in first paper world geography, the laterization is process where temperature is very high and rainfall is also high. At present, the equatorial region in world is most suitable for the genesis of laterite soil, but the same conditions are found in India also, where temperature is very high and rainfall is very high. That's why lateritic soil is found along the western Ghat mountain of Kerala and Karnataka, not in Maharashtra, because in Maharashtra there was laterite soil in the same patch, but it has now been overlain by the black soil or lava, and it is found here in this western part and in the central part in some patches, but in Odisha and the West Bengal plateau region this laterite soil is found, and some amount of laterite soil is also found in Meghalaya and eastward like Mikir and Rengma hills, because here is also sufficient amount of rain during the summer monsoon and high temperature. That's why the laterite soil is found in this belt. Laterite soil is very coarse, of red nature, and its structure and texture is unique, and it is although minerally rich, iron rich, and other minerals are also found, but it lacks the humus, because here there are less forest density, less amount of vegetation. That's why here the soil lacks humus, but somewhere there are forests, the soil is of acidic nature, and this is suitable for the production of spices like in Kerala and Odisha and in the Meghalaya region, and most of the spices are grown in this laterite and lateritic type of soil. Next is alluvial soil, the symbol of which is here, and its nomenclature in 7th approximation is inceptisol, alphisol, and mixed with antisol, and this is also here in India named as alluvial soil. And as we are seeing the distribution, it spreads over the northern plain, that is Punjab plain, entire UP plain, or say upper Ganga plain, middle Ganga plain, lower Ganga plain, and Assam plain. And this is also found in the eastern coastal plain region and west coast plain region, and somewhere in Gujarat low-lying area. Why it is? Because this is of depositional nature by the fluvial process. It is transported soil. When the rivers from the Himalayas come down, they carry down the fine sediment of alluvial nature, wherein the sand, silt, and clay dominate, and these are being deposited in this low-lying area, which was in the beginning a Gangetic trench, and this is depositional, and the same process takes place in the east coast plain, where the rivers from plateau like Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, and its tributaries and other small rivers deposit the alluvium of fine nature in the eastern coastal plain. Likewise, west coast plain and this Gujarat plain are characterized with this type of alluvium. If we divide this alluvium in the different types on the basis of its characteristic, it is of different types. For example, in the West UP region to the east of here Aravalli range, there is coarse alluvium dominated by the sandy structure, but in the eastern UP and especially the Bihar region is characterized with the loam soil, wherein the silt and clay are dominating. In the lower Ganga plain or West Bengal plain area and Assam, it is of clay nature, means clay dominates, and that is suitable for the production of rice. To the west, loam is suitable for the production of sugar cane, and west means the sandy soil is suitable largely for the production of wheat, maize and potato. And as we move westward here in the Satluj plain, again soil is very fertile and of soft nature. Thus, the soil of northern plain is of three types: one sandy, second loam, and third clay. But the eastern and western coastal plain soils are largely of loam nature, and it is made up of coarse structure. And east coast plain soil is suitable for the production of rice or paddy, while the west coast plain soil suitable for coconut. Thus, this soil of plain is very widespread and is minerally rich and rich from humus viewpoint, that is suitable for the production of different crops. And this Bihar and UP plain is also termed the grain bowl of India, and this is also subject to erosion by the fluvial process, sheet erosion, rill and gully erosion. These are the problems which we will study in a separate board. And last is the peaty soil, or it is also called histo soil, the shade of which you will very minutely find along the Kerala coast and here in Gujarat. Virtually this soil is found where there is the marshland or swampland, and this soil is rich with humus viewpoint and minerally also, but due to waterlogging this is not suitable for the production of any crop because it is of acidic nature. And it is also histosol. It is also called histosol because it has a very long history of the soil development or pedogenesis in itself, and it is waterlogged soil, so not suitable for any plant or the crop growth. Rather, it is for the growth of mangrove forest and other plants which are of other plants. And thus this is the soil region of India, wherein you are expected to write first that soil is the function of lithospheric, atmospheric, hydrospheric, biospheric ingredients. Then second, which are the soil forming factors in India, and those factors are of different natures ranging from equatorial to polar region. Hence soil natures of India are of different types, and there is spatial variation and special features. And then at last you will categorize these soils and set on the map of India and give their detail under three heads. Number 1, their area or spatial distribution. Number 2, their genesis. Number 3, their characteristic and their use.